Hello and welcome back to Holopon Solo Sagas, where once again we are playing solo role-playing games, and today's role-playing game will be a third season, a third short run of freeform Call of Cthulhu using the Solo Investigator's Handbook. Hello and welcome back to my subscribers, and if you're not yet a subscriber, please do consider, if this is the first time you have visited the channel, welcome. Thank you very much for your support, and on the basis of support, thank you very much to the Adventurers Guild, as we have called ourselves, and for your increased and ever-present support. I do very much appreciate it, and for everyone for your views, and for anyone who gives me a coffee, thank you. Or does one of the super thanks. It's much appreciated. I really do appreciate it. So yes, back to Call of Cthulhu. I thought it was a bit of a palate cleanser between sessions of other games. We would drop in another Call of Cthulhu that I'd mentioned. I wanted to do another one from when Mandy and I went to Europe, and I was visiting the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford. I posted some pictures onto the community bit. So the Ashmolean Museum is quite an old museum. It's the second oldest university museum in the world. It was originally founded in 1661, but then it moved buildings, and the current building was built in 1841. The Ashmolean Museum of Art and Archaeology, which is perfect for Call of Cthulhu. And so what I did was, it was very evocative being there, and I would advise, if you ever go to a place like this and you see things like, as is the Ashmolean Museum in Oxford in England, you then may feel an impetus to do something, and as such, we are now at this stage and we can do the Call of Cthulhu adventure. So I have created a character for us to use. The character is a professor of Egyptology and an antiquarian, specialising in fine art, because it is the Museum of Art and Archaeology. Our character works in the Ashmolean Museum. The character's name is Professor Evelyn Sinclair. Evelyn is 48 years old, works at the Ashmolean Museum, mainly in the archaeology section, or being a professor of Egyptology. Main skills are all focused around anthropology, archaeology, some skills in appraisal, because also being an antiquarian and specialising in fine art. So possibly we can imagine that Evelyn has a bit of a sideline sometimes of studying art and pictures and selling things just on the side. Maybe at home has large collection of fine artworks. I did stick in some more physical things, thinking maybe in Evelyn's youth, Evelyn could have been in one of the wars, probably the First World War, maybe earlier, the Boer War. I think that's before. So has fighting and dodge, but has no firearm skills. So we can say Evelyn just has that base 20 and 25% in firearms. Library use, I did bump listening, and Evelyn has also, due to the work that Evelyn did with his professor mentor, has some skill in the occult, in knowledge about different things within Egypt and the Egyptology and the occult around that, and would be fascinated by those things which had history within the Ashmolean Museum, or those who had rumours or some story behind it around a curse or something weird that happened that would make Evelyn excited and make Evelyn want to investigate these things a bit more. And so we have Evelyn, and we have Evelyn working at the Ashmolean Museum and studying. So we'd be working behind the scenes in the Ashmolean Museum, where they would have big. They also have the Ashmolean Museum, even still now, being a university museum, has a big link to the university colleges of Oxford, and thus a lot of the study of the items that come in to the Ashmolean Museum and come into that area, they go off to the university to be studied. So Evelyn would be based at the Ashmolean Museum, but also would probably work in the university colleges, somewhere in one of the university colleges. I haven't looked into it enough to know which of the university, because there's a lot of Oxford University colleges, so Evelyn would be based around there as well. So we have our investigator. Evelyn has looked into some things and studied some things. The Evelyn's very slim, bookish, pale, late 40s, almost reaching 50. Believes that science is the answer to a lot of these occult things, and that there's the supernatural can be explained using science. We would also then, so Evelyn has a professor that Evelyn went to Egypt with and studied some of the architecture, the archaeological sites with his professor, and some weird things were encountered, but they all could be explained in the end. And so this is Evelyn, who's very eager to learn new things. If things takes Evelyn's fancy, then Evelyn may pursue them. So because we are at the museum, what I thought, so we'll be using, as I said, the Solo Investigator's Handbook. Now, part of the first thing you do with the Solo Investigator's Handbook is you generate your scenario, which we've done before. This is the same as we've done for the Jungle Adventure and then for the Ritual. So we will then first roll on the generated scenario. Now, because I've got a vague idea of the sort of thing I would like to do, we might discard some of the ideas until we come up with something which suits Evelyn and the situation that we have created. Because even Peter, so just to emphasise, I'll put the link down in the bottom like I normally do. It's Peter Bimler. I normally say Peter's name completely wrong, Bimler. So Peter's book even says, for within generating a scenario idea, doing an internet search for Cthulhu scenario hooks will also bring up some interesting leads regarding scenarios. Now I'm going to roll, but I do have an idea. So I'll tell you now what my idea is. My idea is linked around the fact that we have, so the Ashmolean Museum being of art and archaeology, the Egyptology section downstairs is beautiful. There's some of the works that I posted a photo of is very evocative. So I would imagine that Evelyn is studying one of these and something is interesting about it. This I don't know. But I also know that the art upstairs is also incredibly evocative, and some of the pieces are really quite fascinating. And so I want there to be some tie between the two, the art, the large paintings, but I don't know how we'll have to get there or what will happen when we're there. That's why I want the dice and the book to guide us. So we can see this is an exercise in some things that I've spoken about, which is using your creativity. Now I know Moses of Will and Owner's Cave has said, if you're not using dice and you just don't, why don't you just write a book? Well, because it's different writing a book. I don't think writing a book is the same as this. I think you can take ideas from this and put them in a book, but I don't think it's the same thing. So what we're going to do is we'll go through and we'll generate, first off we'll generate a scenario idea. So we have chapter 2, which is generate a scenario. We'll see what it comes up with. 90. You dreamt of a horrific event near your town and are then horrified to read about the exact event, with possibility a few details added the next morning in the local newspaper. Possibly, but with a twist. So it could be something that's linked to the item, maybe in reading the hieroglyphs, which I have given as language other hieroglyphs, a skill for Evelyn. Otherwise, well, let's see if there's something else is more into. Otherwise, I could just read down the list and pick one, which I have. There are some that work. Discover map or room of great mystery here turn. Told? No. 43. Last one. A noted person has been kidnapped. No. All right, I said last one, but let's do one more. 31. A remote site attempt. No. All right. So, all right, how about we tie these two things together? There's another one in here, which is a painting that has passed through several hands comes up for sale. It is rumoured that everyone who has owned it has died from being choked to death, though no killer's ever found. How about we've got a tie of two things. So what triggers this within the Ashmolean is we have the horrific event described by an Egyptian artifact. So it's an artifact that Evelyn has been studying. Evelyn has translated, and it said that something had happened, a horrific event would happen, and then the next day, as Evelyn comes into work, he sees someone's newspaper. He walks into work and sees someone's newspaper at work, maybe in the tea room, whilst going to get a tea from the tea lady. It would be a thing. He sees that this event has occurred. but also at the same time we'll have two things. At the same time, there's a work of art that's just come in upstairs, which has been donated to the museum because the owners keep disappearing. So the owners keep disappearing, and the last owner bequeathed this painting to the Ashmolean Museum. So Evelyn would be interested in studying that painting, but also this is quite weird that he needs to check whether the hieroglyphs that he had interpreted were really foretelling this event, or is it just coincidence? So we've got, how did you receive this quest? So I think from this it would be option, which is if you roll 21 to, let's roll it, but 21 to 30 would be 24. No way. Would be a news report. So this comes, so the weirdness of this comes from news reports. So we've got two reports here that have instigated this strangeness. One is the newspaper that Evelyn has seen, which has this horrific event, which we'll roll. We want to roll what the event is. We'll do that next. Roll what the event is, and then we can do the. So just to remind you, so how this works for Paul Bimler's, B-I-M-L-E-R, Bimler, Paul Bimler, not even Bimler's, Bimler. So for Paul Bimler's book, it's a journaling idea, and so each one is like an entry in a diary. And so what we'll do is we'll work out what's happened, and then we will work out what the event is, and then we will do Evelyn's first journal entry. So we don't need to roll on location or urban because we know it's in the city of. Actually, I'll put up, I probably will have already put up, but I'll do it again to remind myself to do it. A picture of the Ashmolean Museum from the outside, present one, which is the present location. It's been the location since 1841, and so you can see what it is, and then your idea, and see if I can dig up some of those photos that I posted of the inside and the Egyptian section. So we know who the character is, we know where the character's got these pieces of information from. So our next bit is in the whole of the journaling. We also have our mythos value. Mythos starts at 0. If you remember that, we have mythos, which is, it's like the chaos factor within the mythic system. It starts at 0. As it goes up, it will modify the tables we roll on, and it will modify how things are responded to. So first off, what we want to do is we want to know what type of event this was, which was foretold. So let's use our verbs table, and then we'll come back. So the pattern is 4 solo. Let's just quickly turn to that page and let you know. So the solo investigator cheat sheet works. We've created our investigator, we've done our investigation bit, and then we move through what's called an investigation round. So in the investigation round, you create a timestamp event for the journal, and then you roll on the story direction table, and then you will then decide on where that direction goes, and you might roll things. But to start off with, we're just going to roll on the verbs table because we want to find out what it was that this event is, which triggered Evelyn's interest. So we will roll a D10, and then we roll a percentage, and that will then give us a value between 0 and 500. So the blue one is the 10s, which tells us the hundreds range. So 9 is 400, so we've got 480. Victimized, or victimize. Then we've got 450. Strike, okay. Maybe there's an industrial strike, something to do with some victim. 7s is 354. Overpower. So I'm going to say that what the event was, because it wouldn't be tied normally, but it's only because Evelyn had just been reading in the hieroglyphs the day before whilst he was at work, that the police broke up a strike by, so let's make it the bus drivers. So the weird bit was that it was a peaceful protest, and then everybody got angry all at once, and there was a clash and people died on both sides. And that was quite strange because that doesn't happen very often. I mean, it's happening quite a bit at the moment. So this is the thing that's happened. So we would have our first entry. We'll say it's June 1922. I don't know if that works, but let's say June 1922 because it's 1920. So we'll have Evelyn saying, as I noted, studying the artifact, let's see, what shall we make it? Well, there was a pot. There's a big stone tablet. He's studying a stone tablet. He is trying to decipher a stone tablet that was found. A stone tablet which has got slightly strange writing. I was trying to decipher the tablet, the one that's known as the Hugo tablet, after Professor Hugo who returned it. Yesterday, as I noted in my journal, the strange thing was that the tablet spoke of a time where the authorities, the people in charge, would clash with those who moved things, and that people would die. I found this quite surprising, as nothing else in the tablet had discussed anything up until that point, and it was quite confusing to me. Yet this morning when I came in, and I said good morning to everybody in the tea room, and I went to Mavis for my usual Earl Grey, I noted that Jenkins was reading the news. He was reading the Times, and on the front page was a big story about what happened yesterday afternoon. There was a clash between the police and the bus drivers. Bodies fell and people had died. It was very peculiar. It sparked my interest. Is this linked to what I was reading just the day before within the tablet? It's very strange. Possibly I need to read further on the tablet and see if other things are linked and if other mentionings could happen. So, we've begun our investigation. We've said that there's something weird about this tablet that Evelyn has been studying. What else? We've also chucked in that art bit just so as we can have some diversity. What else could happen? So this is where we would then refer to our investigation cycle, and we will see what happens next. So first off, we work out the time frame between now and our next item. So he would return. So basically he would note in his journal, as he's just noted down, and then we would do some form of work. So the morning, this would then be midday. Something would occur during the morning with him studying the tablet, or possibly there's the painting. We'll see what happens. So what we now do is our mythos is, so we've had something weird occur. So that's a weird link. So mythos of +1, which is an unsettling event. So something unsettling has occurred. So we do a mythos going up to 1. And because the mythos has increased, we do a sanity check. Now, our Evelyn has got quite good sanity. Evelyn's sanity is 60, so we try to roll under sanity. This might unsettle, it's just a bit unsettling that there's this link. 54, so Evelyn is fine. Evelyn doesn't lose any additional sanity, but the mythos has gone up by 1 because it's a strange occurrence. So what we do is we roll story direction, which is a percentage, and we add the mythos points, which is +1, which gives us 76. So something dangerous occurs. We have the danger table, which means we roll on the danger table to get a general idea what the threat is, and then we go to the verb table to get a better idea. We don't add mythos to this roll. So the danger table is a percentage. So we get 93. A friend is attacked severely / killed. All right, I've got something for that actually. That links maybe with the art. Maybe we can then draw the art, the painting in. But let's do 3 verbs. So it says move to the verbs table and make 2 to 4 rolls, as many as you wish, to generate additional details to the nature of the threat. I think this then we can pull in depending on what happens here, we can pull in the painting possibly. So we've got 4. So that's 130. Let's see what these verbs turn out. Dance. All right. Okay. So 7, which is 367. Plunder. Well, plunder then, I think plunder links to the painting quite nicely. 438. which is 138. Declare. That doesn't really work. Oh, I might do, actually. 490, which is 190. Earn. All right, so if it is to do with the painting, then possibly Evelyn has a friend who has been looking at the painting. Now, do we have names of anyone on this? I don't know if we do. So I think, here we go, gender. So we've got NPC. Let's do an NPC quickly. 31 female, art, academic, 06 intelligent. That's actually what it comes up as. So highly intelligent, academic that Evelyn knows, who works and studies the paintings. So what was this? This was a friend is attacked severely / killed. Let's see. So we've got dance, plunder. So dance, I think, links to the painting. So I think the painting shows many people dancing. Plunder, declare. I think declare would be our friend is going to declare that they've seen something within the painting. Plunder and earn would be also links to the painting because it's how we got the painting. So the painting was originally the painting was stolen. So maybe we'll talk to, so rather than they are killed, maybe the attack, but maybe the attack is rather than physical, the attack is mental. So our friend he's feeling, maybe the painting is freaking her out, is making her have dreams, and something to do with the people in the painting. Or maybe I've just seen The Shining recently. People in the painting, something to do with dreams about the people in the painting, and so maybe there's some form. So it wouldn't be, though the painting would be upstairs. I don't know whether she would be studying the painting upstairs or the painting would be moved into one of the back room sort of areas and the study would take place there. So let's go back to the verbs a bit and see if the verbs can tell us what happens. What has happened to our friend? So we've got 671, 271. Goggle. Okay. 5, 251. Freeze. Nice. Okay. Let's see what this last one is, but I think I already know what's happened to her. 8, which is 356. Parade. Parade doesn't really work, but goggle and freeze do work. So we would have, so I think it would be, so we're in the back part of the Ashmolean Museum. We're in a room which is part of the Egyptology section. There's lots of artifacts within this room, and there's a couple of other people quietly studying their stuff, taking notes, looking at things, maybe every now and then asking each other for advice. Then all of a sudden, a scream comes from a separate part where there's some dark storage areas, and we go back into this smallish warehouse area where a lot of the larger paintings and the works of art are being kept, and there's a scream coming from there. So we will let's make a listen roll to see if we can identify if we can find where this sound is coming from. 80 is a fail. So, oh no, that would work quite well. So Evelyn goes rushing out and there's a scream and people are saying it's down here, and Evelyn's going, no, I'm sure it's over this way. So Evelyn heads over into the wrong direction where, let's say there's a big % chance there's another scream. Okay, 42, so there's another scream, a blood-curdling scream comes through. So I think this means, so we've got parade. Parade doesn't really work on that bit, but maybe this, let's give him another chance to hear where it comes from. Yeah, 17. So 17 is practically 1/5. He's got 70 for listen. He realises that he's in the wrong place whatsoever, and he's going to Have we got anything for like running fast? Not really. We could give him con. 60. Okay, so he's out of breath. I'm going to give him -1 hit point for that. But he gets there, and people are already crowded around. And Evelyn will say, let's have a name. Front of the Cthulhu book. What is this woman's name? Her name is Rachel. He's going to say, Rachel. Is that Rachel? And Rachel is standing in front of this painting and is transfixed and frozen as she gazes deeply into this painting. And she is, let's see, she has screamed. And so we've got goggle and freeze, and she seems to be quite frozen, and people are trying to guide her away, but she's fixed to the spot, just staring into the painting with fear across her face. And as they move her away, she will say, so we've got dreams of the people in the painting, many people dancing, so we've got female intelligent Rachel, and then we had that bit with the Claire. So maybe she has been seeing that. So we've got people, and we had dance and dance. So she's going to say they moved. Now, what era is this from? Oh, there's a clues table. Let's run the clues table and see if that will give us something. 06, last one, no, that doesn't help us. We will say that this is, we don't know. That's one of the bits. Nobody knows when this come from, but they moved. The painting is full of people from all different sorts of eras, all in a large ballroom. At the moment, it's a large ballroom. Some people are in togas. Some people are in furs. No, not furs. Furs doesn't work. Basically, there's Edwardian. There's people from all different realms, of all different dress, from all different places, and they all seem to be within this painting and within this big hallway, dancing with each other. And she's going to say, they moved. They moved. They screamed. So she screamed, they screamed. What have we got in here? So we've got dance, declare, goggle, freeze. So she's gonna say they moved. They moved. I was dreaming about them last night. They moved. They moved whilst I was watching them. They moved, and everyone is a bit, oh no, she's been on her own for too long, and disbelieving. But Evelyn will be slightly weirded out by that, and possibly Evelyn is going to have a look at this painting later on tonight. So Evelyn will say, strange thing happened this morning about round midday. I was working on the tablet, on the Hugo tablet, and when all of a sudden there was a scream from out the back in the storage area, where the paintings are kept. Normally I will spend some time there studying the artworks to keep abreast of what's coming in and out of the Ashmolean Museum. My friend Rachel had been studying the newest acquisition from the museum, a strange painting with a very jaded past. It came into our hands as a bequeath from the owner who disappeared and left all of their artwork to the Ashmolean, but this painting had the strangest of histories. All sorts of people have owned it, and they just disappeared, and it transferred from hand to hand, and now it's coming to ours. Rachel's been studying it for the last few days. She's been very quiet. Normally we would speak over lunch whilst we have our sandwiches, but she hasn't really been coming to the room for the last few days. It's been quite peculiar. She was stood, terrified look on her face, transfixed by the painting. She said they moved. We don't know what's quite going on. She's a delicate soul and possibly spends too much time on her own just staring at paintings. So I've decided that I will spend this afternoon looking at the painting. They've packed Rachel up and they've sent her home. But I'll speak to Rachel possibly tomorrow and see what she said. But this afternoon I think I'll be looking at that painting and see what I can find. So he will endeavour afternoon study the painting. But let's do before then, because he was disturbed. Did he discover anything from the hieroglyphics? And we can roll for the tablet discovery. So he does have a hieroglyphs of 51. I will say that if he rolls 25, the halves, then we will move that forward as well. 85, no. So he got nothing from the tablet in the morning. The scream and the stuff, so we'll say that's also unsettling. So we'll move the mythos to 2. We'll give him another san check, which his sanity is 60. 71, so that was a bit disturbing. He found that a bit disturbing, and so his sanity is going to drop to 28. So we roll, so if we fail an unsettling, -2. So that would be 1. So it drops to 59. So it's a D4 -2. So he's a bit unsettled by the whole thing that's happened to Rachel, and Rachel's saying, so he will, this afternoon, he is going to study the painting. And I think we will leave it at that for now. It's a slow build up. We'll slowly build up like some stuff. So we've got the Hugo tablet, which is some weird stuff, but he's not being able to glean anything else from deciphering the hieroglyphics from the Hugo tablet. But we also have this weird painting of lots of people from different eras all dancing together in this massive hall, who apparently moved because they're dancing. Yeah, I think that works. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you very much for sticking with me for this little introductory to our next story. And we'll call it the Ashmolean. So this is going to be called the Ashmolean. Is what we'll call this story arc. Thank you very much to my subscribers for returning and for supporting. If you haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing. Thank you very much to the members for your support. Thank you to all of you for all of your views and all your support. Let's see what happens with this story for our next session, and we will return then. So yeah.